Hey everyone, we're back again with Triple F. Have you ever wondered what you should be bringing to the gym to be able to accompany you? Well, if you don't have a spouse or a gym partner or whatever, you should at least bring your gym bag. And so that's what we're talking about today is our gym bag. We want to share you what the essentials are, what you should take with you, and even give you some bonus extra ones that you can think about. So we'll talk about it next on Triple F.
Welcome back to another episode of Triple F.
Black
Triple
on
F.
black.
Black on black.
Woo! There's an AC/DC song like that.
It's back to black, isn't it?
Back to black. We are back to black.
Yep, there you go. We've heard from all of our viewers out there, and they said, "Man, would you guys please put black on? We love y'all in black." So,
It's because we're so white. We need something to offset it.
it goes with gray.
It's the gray, and it's just how it's the lighting in here. We probably need to do some tan or something like that.
Or a fashion video.
Should we do makeup?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Makeup on him.
Yeah, I mean, I have a face made for radio, like you said. So anyway, we are back for another week, and today we're going to talk a little bit of gym bag essentials. Now, we're not talking about the funk and the stink that comes from the gym bag. We're talking about all the good stuff that's in the gym bag and what you should have, I assume, when you go to the gym, right? Is that what gym bag essentials are?
I think this is a fun one. This is like one where, when you get into a new hobby and you're ready to spend some money on it and you just want like all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
This is like where when you go to the gym, it kind of acts a little bit like a motivator, right? When you've got like cool stuff, you're wearing cool stuff, you got all the right gear, you're just like, I'm ready to lift something heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It adds a little bit there.
And you put a tank top on, that makes it even better, right?
Depends. Maybe check with your friendly coach at the gym first. Ask him.
I'm 66. I haven't worn a tank top since college. I don't think anybody wants to see a 66-year-old with a big tank top in the gym. So
some people dress like they're going to the Houston rodeo when they go to the gym, and they need to have somebody give them permission to do that first. Did you see that they banned they had a dress code?
Oh yeah.
A dress code at the rodeo.
The livestock show and rodeo. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to see all that stuff hanging out below them shorts and stuff, man. It's like
sometimes when you're at the gym, you're wondering if maybe we need a more strict dress code.
We need a gym dress code.
some of it you should be covering up. Okay, some of it you should be covering up. Go baggy.
That was part of our trendy video, man. No wonder people need to go more baggy and less tight, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's like, look, guys, woo, got to relax on that. Okay, go a couple size bigger. Although we got some. At least I got my tight shirt on right now.
You went small today. Huh?
Yeah, I went small. It's just medium. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about our gym bag. We're going to kind of go through some of the essentials first, and then what would be some of the nice to haves, right? Things to add in there if your gym bag is big enough. Okay. All right. So very first thing we're going to need is we're going to need a gym bag, and I brought my wife's gym bag. That's hence the beautiful color here. Although I don't know if I could use this gym bag. I like pink. This is just really, really pink.
You just can't lift any heavy weights if you're carrying that around the gym.
No. I mean, it's going to be an issue.
That'd be a cardio day.
Yeah. So you need a gym bag, first of all. And typically one this size is pretty good for most everything that you're going to need in it, right? And then, now the gym bag, you don't have to get fancy with it, just some pockets and enough space. But what goes into it is more important, all right? So very first thing you're going to need, which is going to be like a no-brainer, but I can't tell you how many times you and I and everybody have forgotten it. It is the good old water bottle, okay? So we want to be eco-friendly, so try to find something you can wash. This one was washed recently. It's got kind of like a chalk on it or something. This one's nice because it's squeezable, right? And so it doesn't leak, it doesn't spill, and you don't have to take on and off the lid, which I really like. I'm not a big fan of like Stanleys and tumblers in the gym and stuff like that. They're just too big and cumbersome, and you got to undo them, and that's just not very good. So I would pick a squeezable like this, one that you just, like a kind of what you'd see on the side of the football field or basketball. Yeah, it's really nice. I've got a couple of these. So that's one there, squeezable water bottle. Next one, also one that we tend to forget, and it can absolutely ruin our workouts, okay, is earbuds, all right? Some sort of headphones that you can be able to plug in and be able to drown out all the crazy noises that you might hear at a gym. All right. Now, there are different types. You've got over ear, like the big muffs,
Yeah.
right? Do you have a preference? Or you
Uh,
never really wear
I actually
earbuds?
like the earmuffs, but I don't ever wear them because I like to kinda
Yep.
but I like the earbuds better when I'm just listening to music,
Yeah.
but for working out, I think the buds are probably the way to go. The problem is the buds are always falling out.
Yeah, that's the issue with, like, AirPods that, like, specifically the ones that are not the one with the little like, the rubber tip.
Yeah.
If you are gonna get one, get some with rubber tips because then they're a little bit more noise canceling and they hold in your ear a bit better,
Yeah.
but I agree, they will tend to fall out, especially when you're on let's say you're benching
A lot,
100-pound
yeah. If
dumbbells,
if
for
you're going pretty heavy
17.
or pretty intense, they will fall out a little
Yeah,
bit or jogging on the treadmill,
yeah.
something like that, so
Yeah, but earbuds are gonna be really important or some sort of headphones because you never know what you're gonna be listening to, and in our gym, we've got all kinds of different music and,
yeah.
you could go from rock to rap to, all kinds of different genres, and you just may not be, into it, so bring your own stuff so you can listen. For me, I actually don't listen to music when I'm working out, I actually listen to
Yeah,
podcasts.
I don't wanna listen to too much music
Yeah.
except what you have playing. Now we do need to talk about that. I mean, you need to up
He wants country
you
music.
need to up the country music a
Oh
little
my gosh. Can you imagine? We've done that a couple times, and I tell you, I hear all kinds of stuff. All right. So now, next one is one that you may not think to actually add to your gym bag, but I'm going to tell you this is absolutely important because if you are on the wrong side of this particular scenario, you yourself are going to have a hard time and everybody around you is going to struggle. Okay. All right. So that you do not offend, we need to make sure we
bit.
bring some deodorant, okay? Please, for the love of all that is holy, it is not that expensive. Put it in your bag and keep it with you because I tell you, if a gym stinks because of bad BO, it ruins it for everyone,
Is that a
okay?
huge problem, man?
Oh my
Good
goodness
gyms always
gracious.
smell pretty good 'cause y'all
Hey,
clean so much, but I guess gyms that don't clean very much.
well, even with us, like we clean, but you'll get some people where deodorant is just maybe not a big part of their culture, right?
Oh,
And you'll know when we know because you'll see us, we'll be running around with Glade aerosol, air freshener, and we'll be spraying it and stuff and trying to do it sort of inconspicuously, like just because we're trying our best to manage the smell and we don't want to be like rude and like go up to someone and tell them, hey, look, you smell terrible. Can you go in the back? We actually provide deodorant, antiperspirant
yeah.
in the bathrooms at our club. Just for this reason. But look, all of you that are not members of our club, just get you some antiperspirant or some, deodorant combo and keep that in your bag. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next one.
I
So
must say, I wasn't expecting that to be in the bag, so
yeah, yeah, but
but I can
it makes
see.
total sense. Now,
Makes sense.
a little added one that can go along with it, some Axe body spray. All right. So this one's actually empty, so you know that I've actually it's still got some in there. You know that I've actually used it. So that at least will, help with the smell, because sometimes you wear a shirt and you don't realize it, it's a little musty and you're like, and maybe the deodorant isn't strong enough to kind of cover up that smell. You got the Axe body spray, you kind of spray that on you, just something to be able to, whoo, man, I can smell that.
That's Axe, man.
Woo!
That's what those 14-year-old boys
Yeah.
wear in
Oh
junior
yeah.
high, man.
Oh yeah. Well, it's cheap, right? It's
Yeah.
cheap and it's easy to put on. Okay, so Axe body spray. There you go. All right, now the next one, which is a big one at our gym, right? At our gyms, we actually over the last years have required everyone to have a towel on their equipment. Okay, and this is
Good
a unique
idea.
role.
I like that.
It's a unique rule, one that you don't see very often. We actually got this rule when we lived in Germany. Right, we lived over there for 5 years, and I went to a gym and signed up, and it was called McFit, kind of like McDonald's. It was actually a budget gym, but it was really big and it was brand new, so it was really nice. But one of their requirements is they require you to have a towel on all of the benches, a large towel. And so a towel would look something like this, right? Long enough to be able to cover the entire bench. And this one actually has a hood on it so that if you put it on a bench, it won't slide down. But the intent here is to provide some protection to the vinyl to keep your sweat off of the material, but also to keep someone else's sweat off of you that may have been on the piece of equipment
Yeah.
before. And you have these towels, you use
Yeah,
them at our
yeah,
gym.
I kinda got used to it during COVID because during COVID, when they reopened the gyms, they really, I guess the recommendation came from somewhere to start using towels and laying towels down and things like that.
Yeah.
So we started using them, but I really like it now. So
Yeah.
I know you've taken away the rule of the gym, but I still use it,
Mhm.
and I know some people I talk to. I mean, it's really a good idea just for
Yep.
your own germ protection, if nothing else, because there's a lot of sweat and bodily fluids when you're sweating out the gym, and so just
Mhm.
putting a towel down kind of keeps you from picking up viruses or picking
Yeah.
up something from somebody else. So,
Mhm.
so I use it just for that, you know. So it's
Yep.
really it's good for me, and I actually like that. It actually provides a little bit of a little bit better traction when you're
Yeah.
laid on a
Especially
bench because
this
those benches can
material.
get slippery when they get wet, and
Yep.
so these long towels like that really are beneficial, I think. So
Yeah, and we you said it correctly. We don't require this anymore, but we still encourage it.
yeah,
And you see still quite a it's in the gym culture at
yeah,
our
it is.
clubs.
Yeah,
But anyway, this is a great one to have. It also for a gym like a staff member when we have this rule and we're enforcing it, it's easy way for us to know whether or not someone's a member of our gym or if
yeah,
they're just visiting or if they snuck in, then we can always identify that they're, who they are and then go talk to them, meet them and stuff. All right. So next one, all right, which I think is really important because you never know if you're going to actually have it, is some sort of stretch band. And you could just have anything, just nothing that's really, let's say thick and difficult to use, but you're going to use this, to kind of get some rotator cuff rotation, just to warm up the joints. Okay. Cause sometimes you're just not able to find these
yeah,
in the gym because especially if you're not at one of our clubs, it's going to be challenging for you to find some of these things. That's why you end up bringing them your own, just so that you don't have to go, sort of where's Waldo all over the gym. So a stretch band, that's a great one to have. Okay, next one. Now, because we may not necessarily go to gyms that are really clean, one thing when before we owned Anytime Fitness is my wife, she would bring aeros like disinfectant spray, okay, with her, and she would spray down all the equipment because a lot of times there was no towels or
right.
anything like that, right? Typical US gym etiquette, no etiquette basically. And so she would bring it. So one thing you can do is have disinfectant
Yeah,
wipies in your bag, and then you can just pull these out and wipe down your equipment because a lot of times you go to a gym that have these and they're out, right? Or you got to go walking all over the place to try to get to them, right? And here you just have them, just super convenient. You can wipe them down and they're not very expensive. Just don't flush them down the toilet, okay? No matter even if they say that they're flushable,
yeah.
okay? This one actually says do not
They're not
flush,
flush.
all
Yeah.
right? But I tell you,
People don't read.
yeah, true. Just be careful with them, okay? All right, so wipes, because you definitely want to stay clean. You don't want to catch some sort of staph infection or anything like that. All right, next one. Really important. Actually, I think you wear gloves, right?
Yes.
Okay, gloves. So I don't really wear gloves, but I have in the past. But I do have straps. Okay, so like if I'm doing back work or anything where I'm using some really heavy weight, I'll use straps. These are called Cobra grips, and this is just this, and they're little sometimes a little controversial. Some people are like, I never use straps. You should build up your wrist strength or your grip strength. There's some validity to that, but I'm not looking to try to arm wrestle people, and I'm not looking to try to be able to break someone's hands. I just want to be able to move heavy weight, and this allows for my stronger parts of my body to be able to get the workout that I think that they need without worrying about my grip being the weakest link. So, and I really like the way they feel. They're really comfortable, and they also can protect you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
these are only like $40 on Amazon. So really good. Versa grips are the name brand one, the ones that are like the really popular one, but they've really gone down in quality and they're like $90. It's crazy. These are Versa grip
Oh,
or
those are
Cobra grips.
Cobra
Cobra
grips. Yeah.
grips. Yeah. The other ones are Versa grips. I used to have a lot of Cobra grip or Versa grips, but I stopped getting them because they're just too
Use those a
expensive.
lot for deadlifts and things like
Yeah,
that.
deadlifting, any kind of pulling. You can use it for pushing too, but you know, barbell
Yeah.
curls, bicep curls, whatever it might be. Yeah. All right, next one. My favorite in the gym bag is actually my good old lifting belt.
Oh, man.
Okay, now this one has a story. So you remember in when I mentioned to you guys that I started bodybuilding as a result of working with a power lifter named Jeff Carr? Well, this actually used to be Jeff's belt, and he actually gave it to me when he got a new one. Now, what's unique about this belt, obviously, it's pretty old, but it actually has a lifetime warranty associated with it. But it has a little one of the little latches right here is broken, and so this is how I always know it's mine. But it still works great. I always know when I'm losing weight. It depends on how dialed down do I have the strap on here. So anyway, this is a great tool to have. Helps protect your lower back. um,
They
yeah,
they
and
they do work. I've used
oh
that
yeah,
before, so that they are pretty good,
yep,
especially if you have lower back weakness, or
for
just to
sure.
really prevent something like that if you're lifting really heavy weights, so,
Yeah, and you don't have to get a belt like that. I mean, that's like $100 for
yeah.
a belt like that. You can get, off of Amazon for $30, $40, nylon belts, and then of course a lot of the gyms will have their own. But yeah, you should definitely have one of those there. Okay, now another thing. Protein bar, all right? Just having something in your bag to be able to satisfy, a sudden dizziness or lightheadedness, especially as we get older. Sometimes we can be low in our blood sugar and we just need a bite of something. Okay. And so having one of these in your bag, not leaving it in there indefinitely because eventually they'll start to go bad. And, going in and out of the heat, especially if your bag's being left in your car, it'll melt. But definitely have one of these. And you can have it as a post workout too to get some protein in and get some carbs in to replenish. But that's something else you can have.
Yeah, gym I used to go to actually, when you go to early morning workouts, I used to work out at, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
There was actually a fellow in there fainted one time, and,
Hmm.
after he kinda revived and you started talking to him, he had nothing to eat, nothing to drink before he came to the gym.
Yep.
I mean, it's always a good idea to drink a protein shake, to eat a bar, to do
Hmm.
something. Don't just get up out of bed, especially those early morning when you haven't had anything since, 7 o'clock the night before, and try to go to the gym and exert a lot of energy because you will pass out. I mean,
Yep.
it's
So
amazing how
true.
the blood sugar works in your
Yep.
body or whatever it is, make you pass out. And they had to give him sugar tablets and whatever just to
Mhm.
get him awake enough. So
Yep.
it could be dangerous, so make sure you eat something. It doesn't have to be a big meal, but a banana or something, just something to get something in your system,
Mhm.
because it's when you wake up, you're dehydrated
Mhm.
and your stomach is empty
Yeah.
pretty much because
Yep.
you haven't eaten in 12
Yep.
hours,
Yeah,
and
and
so
intermittent fasting is a very
yeah,
popular form of,
yeah,
dieting right now.
and drink something before you go because you are dehydrated when you wake up in the morning, you haven't had anything to drink for 7, 8, 9 hours, so drink
Mhm.
water or a shake or something, so
Yeah, and if you do have this in your bag and someone else passes out, well, then you could be
yeah,
the hero of the
there you
day
go.
by getting them, something to eat. Okay, last thing what I think is really important and probably of all the things in our bag that can make the biggest difference in your progress is actually a workout journal. Here, sometimes these are digital, you can keep them, well, not sometimes, a lot of them are digital. You can keep them on your phone and you can record how much you lift, what you did last time, and be able to check and see, okay, can I add on 2.5 more pounds on this bench press or 10 more pounds on this deadlift? But basically writing down what you did and then being able to look back into your history. Okay. Now, the best time for you to have started a journal would have been a long time ago, but guess what the second best time for you to start a journal?
Today.
Yes, that was right, today. All right, so get yourself a journal and start recording your workouts because again, when you're monitoring your progress and you continue to push yourself based on what you've recorded, there is where you can really start to make some gains. Okay?
You can kinda see where you've been and see what your path was, because
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to tell if you've made a lot of gains,
Yep.
and plus, if you haven't worked a particular body part in a week or so, you're trying to
Mhm.
remember, "Okay, how many sets did I do? How much was it I was lifting?" You
Mhm.
can't remember, so it's hard to know if you're making progress or not, so that's a good idea.
Yep. Okay, now some extras to go into the bag. I'm gonna go kind of quickly on this so this doesn't get too long, but some extra things you can do if you've got the money and you're really kind of you could use these devices or these extra tools or things would be like knee straps, right? I would use knee straps when I was doing like really heavy squatting, really heavy, really it's just squats, any kind of squats like hack squat, barbell squat, V squat, whatever it may be, belt squat. Having straps around your knees just to help support that joint can be very beneficial. Other types of straps would be like around your wrist, like if you're doing heavy bench press and you want some support in your wrist, I mean, just look, I mean, it's such a small joint, right? And it's got all that weight being transferred through that joint. So having straps to be able to help support, especially when you're getting, over, 200, 300 pounds, you're going to want that kind of support.
Yeah.
So those are some things for you to invest in as you start to, progress in your weight. Next one would be, if you're in a gym that isn't kept very organized, you may want to start to bring your favorite attachments. So this one is like a handle for a cable, right? You just get your favorite one that you feel like fits really well in your hand, and keep them with you. That way you don't have to go searching around, because oftentimes, especially with handles like this, you'll find one and then the other one will just be missing. Like, I mean, good luck. You'll waste 10 minutes just trying to find it, right? And in 10 minutes, for those of us that are older, we can actually put a dollar figure on what 10 minutes actually costs,
Mhm.
right? And if you add that up over the course of a year, you could have easily have bought 100 of these straps, right?
Yeah.
And so spend good on Amazon, buy your favorite accessories that will fit in your bag, throw them in there, and that way you don't have to go running around the gym trying to find them. Okay, so that's a good extra one to have. One that I didn't have and I forgot to bring it is collars. The collar, like the metal collars or the plastic collars that you put on the barbells. Okay, that's a good one to keep, because sometimes you can't find them again. It's all about just not being able to find them.
Run around the gym, yeah.
Yeah, you're just trying to save time, okay? Because time, especially at our age, really does matter. It's the asset that is the most important and the one that we have a limited amount of. And so that's a good one. Another one would be proper lifting shoes. So if you're going to be doing a lot of squats, deadlifts, and stuff, you don't want to be in like a Brooks or like a really cushy, like, what is the other? Was that Kona? Is it Kona, or what's that other big
Hoka?
Hoka? Yeah.
Yep.
These ones that are really cushy, they're super comfortable. They're like pillows to walk on, right? We want to be in something flat that's firm, that doesn't create an unstable base. All right. So getting you a nice pair of lifting shoes will be something that will be beneficial. Another one is booty bands for all the ladies. I think this is good for guys too, but get you a pair of booty bands. It's like $20 on Amazon for a set of these. You have like heavy, medium, and light. So this would be definitely worth it for you, because really, I mean, this is actually one from our gym and we wash these, right? But if you can imagine, it looks kind of dirty right now, but if you can imagine, if you're at a big commercial gym, these are just going to be so gross, right? The hundreds of bodies. It's called a booty band. So the hundreds of booties that have been exercised
So
and
how
work
do you
with
use
this.
that? What is that?
You strap them around your knees, and then you
Oh, your
do
knees. I
outer
got you, I
thigh
got you, I got
work,
you, okay.
you know, and so you do glute work with it. Anyway, look up on YouTube. You'll find some very interesting videos on how to use these. But anyway, this is a good one. All right, next one, foam barbell pad. So some of us don't like to, have a heavy amount of weight on our back. It causes bruising, and you have like just scars, and not scars, but just bruising on
Yeah.
your back when it gets really heavy. So having a barbell foam pad helps a lot with that. Makes it more comfortable. Also, if you're doing like glute thrusts on a barbell or a Smith machine or something like that, this is
Yeah.
also good for your, across your thigh or your waist. So that's a good one to have with you. Ankle straps. So for the ladies who are looking to do some sort of cable work, working their glutes, cable or ankle straps will also be beneficial, because that's just like the handles. You'll find one, but you can't find the other, and it's just really, really annoying. One extra one for your devices is, oftentimes you'll show up at the gym and your phone is dead or your headphones are dead. Having a portable charger with you, at least a charging cable, will also save your workout from being just horrible when you don't have any music and you don't have the stuff you need. That's also something I think is a great extra to have in your gym bag. Okay? But yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff here. I would say my all-time favorite, like, this is typically my bag that I bring with me.
Yeah, I
So
have
it's
something
not a
similar to that, yeah.
yeah, so it's not as big as this one, right? But the things that I would absolutely have in it, I would have my towel. That's important. I would have my water bottle. Got to have the deodorant. That's a mandatory one. All right. My AirPods, okay, or some sort of headphones, and then I would have these. These are absolutely my favorite. These are always, always, always in my gym bag. This is what I will always bring, and these are sort of like the bare minimums. Everything else is sort of optional and good to have, nice to have. Maybe need a slightly bigger bag,
Yep.
but this is what I would recommend. At least this is the essential
I
bag.
think I'm gonna need a bigger bag.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
So
that's
cool.
good, man. I do need to upgrade my gym bag after watching this. I don't not carry near that much stuff, but
Mhm.
when you start talking those attachments and things, that's pretty valuable stuff
Yep.
because those can be kind of gross. Also, some of them are metal. And I don't like really like grabbing metal
Mhm.
handles. I prefer to have the cushy
Mhm.
handles.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, that's good stuff.
Especially if you're at a big commercial gym. At our
Yeah.
clubs, it's not as such a big of
Yeah,
an
we don't have
issue.
thousands of people,
Yeah.
using the same, sweating all over the same stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it's a smaller gym.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's good, man. Thanks
Alright.
for the update, and
Yeah.
it's time to go eat a protein bar
I
and get a
think
lot
so.
of energy. So,
Yeah, I know. I kinda feel like I wanna go work out.
yeah, there you go. Take your bag. Take your Axe spray.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you, in just another week.
Go work out. Bye.